guys! Today I'm going to review the first Indiana Jones film, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Harrison Ford stars as Indiana Jones, and he was like a really top actor at this time. It was like at the peak, the early 80s, because he was in the Star Wars films. He was in these Indiana Jones films. He would later be in Blade Runner, so he was one of the top actors at the time. Also behind the camera you have Steven Spielberg directing. He was really at his peak as well, just coming after Jaws and other films. You got George Lucas writing it, so he was at his peak as well, coming from the Star Wars films. So all this talent was behind this one film. Hey, that was the first extra role I had in a bloody film. You even get John Williams doing the music score, and it's one of his best. This fella's done some amazing music. The Star Wars films again, E.T., Close Encounters. Brilliant guy. And the stats for this film are amazing. It was nominated for 9 Academy Awards and won 5 of them.
And the winner is
Michael Kahn
for Raiders of the Lost Ark.
The ones that it won was film editing, production design, best sound, sound editing, best visual effects. The 4 that it was nominated but didn't win were cinematography, best director, best score and best picture, but it lost to Chariots of Fire for best picture. So amazing that. Another interesting thing is it was made for $20 million and it made $389.9 million back. And it was the biggest hit of 1981. Also interesting is that year was one of the best years for making money from films, because that was the beginning of like blockbusters. Like you got your Jaws, your Star Wars, the Empire Strikes Back. So people were like starting to do blockbusters in the summer. It runs 115 minutes and it spawned 3 sequels and TV shows, and there's talk of another film getting made as well. So really successful film this. What I like about this film is it mixes a couple of genres. You have your action adventure genre, but also it mixes the supernatural horror genre, especially towards the final act. Like during the film you have your suspicions that some supernatural is going to happen. There's a scene where there's a crate with the ARK in, and you say the Nazi symbol get burnt off the wood. So you know there's some supernatural power involved in this film. Hey, I can't stand the bloody Germans. Butchering Nazi bastards. Towards the end, it's incredible final scene where Indiana Jones and Marion are tied to this post and they open the Ark and all the ghosts come out of the Ark, and there's some amazing scenes where you see the Nazi soldiers, the faces disintegrating and the bones sticking out. It's quite graphic actually, considering it's a family movie. Hey, Hitler only had one ball. Others on the Albert Hall or something. Harrison Ford and Karen Allen, great chemistry between those two. They're really good. There's a good like love scene as well, where Indiana Jones is pointing to where she has to kiss. Points there, he points there, and then he points to his lips. And you also get the John Williams like romantic theme in the background. So really good. It's surprising how much music makes a film. You just have to look at Star Wars. If you took the music out of that film, it'd be a little bit cheesy and not very good. But because of John Williams' music, he kind of makes films, really. Denholm, Elliott's in as well. I like him, he's in a lot of good stuff. I like him in the Ham House of Horror episode Road Awakening. He's brilliant in this film as well. I like him in To the Devil a Daughter, he's good in that film. He tends to specialise in kind of slazy roles. He's not slazy in this film, but that's kind of his speciality. There's lots of good humour in this film as well. There's like a famous scene where there's the guy with the sword flashing it around. Indiana Jones just looks at him pissed off and just gets a gun and shouts him. I love that scene. Also, the little monkey, he's like a traitor, keeps going to the baddies telling them where Indy's at. that was funny. Another thing about this film's the action sequences, they're really well done, and it's a good example of how to do an action sequence. You have to get the geography right, otherwise the audience gets lost off. Badly done action sequences, they edit too much, and you get confused. You're wondering what's happening when you see a badly edited action sequence. I remember when I watched Superman versus Batman, and there was an action sequence towards the end, and I was totally confused when I was watching it in the cinema. I wondered what the hell was going on. You have to get it perfect. It's like an art form doing an action sequence. It's not just doing things fast. You've got to place things in the audience's mind. So like if you're watching an action sequence here, the truck sequence in this film, that's an excellent example of how to do an action sequence. It's a really long sequence where Indy gets thrown off the truck and he crawls under it, climbs back onto the top, jumps back into the passenger seat and has a fight with the driver and kicks him out. And at the same time there's this other vehicle trying to shoot him, so they're firing bullets at the truck. But these modern editors, they cut films too much. Another thing in 1981, like with this film, you don't get tons of CGI as you do in modern films, and that spoils action sequences as well. You got to say something real to get excited, I think. Like the Bond films are a good example. They were really well made years ago in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. But like sometimes, like the Pierce Brosnan film Die Another Day, that was dreadful. Using CGI and stuff. It totally brings you out. Doesn't matter how good the CGI is. Well, it was crap in that film. But you've got to have it realistic. Some of the visual effects look a bit dated though, like backgrounds where you see the thunder and the lightning and the clouds. That looks a bit artificial. But overall I thought this film was really good. I wasn't like a big Indiana Jones fan, but I really enjoyed watching this film. So out of 10, I think I'd give this film a 9. Because I was really impressed by it. 9 out of 10. What do you think, Bones? Did you like it? Bloody top marks, Phil. Bloody brilliant film. Okay, everybody, bye. See you next time. Like and subscribe. Bye, bye.